Evening, everyone. Evening. Diesel, mate, Kenny, thanks for coming on again. Lee will be with us. He's just running late. He's stuck in traffic over in wherever he is in Spain. We're going to have a little chat about what's maybe gone wrong at Arsenal. And we're going to talk about the fact of we have Southampton Friday night. And we're going to try and dive into this because it's the wrong time of year for this type of thing to happen. If you're a big club, which we are, and you are aiming to win the Premier League, you don't start misfiring at this time of the season. So, Diesel, is it the fact that maybe we just don't have the class of player that can get it over the line? They're panicking now. The pressure, the heavy weight of that Arsenal badge is just getting to them. I mean, give me your brief breakdown of this, because I'll come to Kenny and I'll give you mine.
Yeah. Firstly, thanks for having me on again, Jez. Always a pleasure, mate. You know that. And good to see Kenny as well. Yeah. Listen, I was just saying to you behind the scenes, I must have waxed lyrical about this for 2.5 hours on Sunday after the game. And for me, I'm sick and tired of hearing, yeah, but it's a young squad, it's a young team. You know, they're all internationals, Jez. You know, they're internationals. You know, there's some of these players have been to the World Cup. They're playing once a week. We played against a team, West Ham, who played Thursday night and struggled to a 1-1 draw with Ghent, I believe they're called. You know, we've had a week off. In answer to your question, and I stand by this, I personally think the weak mentality that's seeped through the club for years is still there. I think it was there long before Arteta got here. I did put quite a bit of blame on him, but having reflected on it and seeing it, I think it was watching your stream the other night, Jez, that sort of led me to it, you know, what Arteta was saying about a weak mentality. You know, we forget, you know, Arteta was with Pep for years. He knows what it takes to win. He's been in that Man City dressing room. He knows what it takes, right? He's not seen those ingredients in this team. And I think Arsenal, for me, and I've likened them a lot to flat track bullies in a sense. We've had a great season, don't get me wrong. When there's no pressure and it's all Disney, that's the word I use, when it's all Disney, these players can play ball and they can play it for fun and it's champagne and it's lovely. We're getting to a stage now where there is no room for error. Yeah. So there are certain mistakes that we were making in these games that when you look at the previous games we've been playing in, Gabriel, it was natural for him to just knock it back to the keeper. It was natural for him to just pass it over there. Now they're seeing Man City, this resurgence that they've got, because at the moment they're just looking absolutely unstoppable. And I think Arsenal, now that the pressure's piled on, and like I always say, Sir Alex Ferguson, I'll take his phrase, we are literally knee-deep into the business end of the season. This is where there is no room for error. For me, and I've said this, it's not so much the result, it's the performance, right? It's you know, we're not managers or coaches, guys, but we can watch a game and we can tell from watching that game, yeah, we may not have won, but those players, they left everything on that pitch. They really worked their nuts off today. They didn't. You know, it's 2 games now. Liverpool, a lot of fans can say, look, it's a one-off, it's Anfield, you know, the occasion got to us. Granit Xhaka ballsed up and he gave them that impetus. To have done it 2 weeks in a row to West Ham as well, both games, I personally believe we should have lost. I think we were lucky to get draws. For me, it's like I say, I'm looking at these players thinking, you do realise you're so close to the finishing line. Yeah, you're so close. Keep doing what you're doing. But no, you don't want it. Because I've always said, Jez, when it comes to the absolute crunch, they don't want it. Man City would never have done that against West Ham or even Liverpool. That's the difference. They've got better players, a better squad, but they've also got the better mentality. And as much as we can talk about technical flair, skill, that's all great. What you need is this. You need a mindset. Right, and there was no leaders on that pitch either. I'm looking at Odegaard. Anyone, it doesn't have to be him, anyone, rally these troops. But no, and we went back to the Arsenal of last season, where you've seen 11 strangers on the pitch just trying to play as a team and kick a ball around. There was no structure. There was no leadership. There was no one mouthy on that pitch, no one vocal, as if to say, guys, we need to win this, right? We're close to being champion, Premier League winners. But for me, the body language says it all. When it comes to it, Jez, they're scared, right? They're scared. And this is me. I'm being honest. They're scared. For me, they bottled it and they don't want it. And that's what separates winners from losers.
Facts. Danny, mate, thanks once again, mate, for your super sticker. You are relentless. You're a top fella, mate. And thank you for that, buddy. Kenny, you were at that game. You were at West Ham. And so you are you have a better opinion than I have, because you actually experienced the atmosphere. I mean, the crowd, the Arsenal away must have been absolutely ecstatic. 2-0 up, cruising. I mean, I was sat here watching it and thinking, oh, this is going to be 4, 5, maybe 6. And then it all went to rat shit. I mean, did you experience anything in that crowd, in that away crowd, that was like, what's going down?
I think what's happening is that there was a lot of, even from when we scored the second goal, before we scored, the first 10 minutes, everyone was jumping around. There was limbs all over the stadium from Arsenal fans. And you generally felt, just like we felt when we went 2-0 up at Anfield, that we'll get more goals here, that we completely closed the game off. But the problem is, we made this. It takes a mistake to create chaos, and that's what it was. There's some mistakes in our passing. Partey got held on the ball too long, and I think what's happening is that Declan Rice was key to getting West Ham back in the game, because that interception, he actually pressed Partey out of the game, and I think that's when West Ham got into it. But everyone talks about Arsenal being under pressure at this moment in time and creaking under pressure. It was always going to happen, because simple reason is that I always say it once a million times. If you take away the Fulham performance, and probably Fulham performance where we were flawless, and Fulham, even though Fulham had those chances, we got the third goal and we looked like we could hold them at bay. I can't pick any performance out where I say, you know what, this has been the stuff as champions. Have we been defensively sound? I can't pick it out. Even Everton, we won 4-0 before we got the first goal, and they got the second with a slip from Gay. Everton were getting amongst us. They were creating clear-cut chances, and that's the theme of the whole situation, is that we are conceding a lot of clear-cut chances against even what we call the average teams. The indicators should have been Bournemouth at home and Fulham. Bournemouth at home and Aston Villa away. That was the indicators, but no one seems to pick up on that. That's where we were making a lot of individual errors, to the extent that the better chances in those games actually came from the teams that lost. That's a fact. The better chances came from Bournemouth, even though they hardly had any possession. They cut chances. Should have gone 3, should have got a third goal, and then they didn't, and we got lucky. And let's face it, now we look at the Liverpool game and we look at the West Ham game. We can now admit to ourselves we got lucky in coming those games, and I think that's where the kind of drought happened, is when we went all inverted with Zinchenko. We were winning games in terms of possession, but at the back we're leaving gaps. Gabriel can't keep on having to come out his centre half position to cover the left hand side, because Zinchenko's going walkies, and then on Sunday Kieran Tierney went walkies. I mean, Kieran Tierney, we thought we were getting our left back, but we haven't. We got a left back who's gone inverted. That's what's cost us big. You think about the chances we gave against average teams, and they're average because you have to look at the table. Can you imagine what City would do to us if we played like that? They would absolutely hammer us. And that's why there's a lot of despondency about how we're going to go in the league, because the fact is we're conceding goals. If we kept clean sheets and beat Liverpool 1-0 and beat West Ham 1-0, we'll go into that City game with a bit of confidence, a little bit of confidence, thinking, you know what? Whatever happens, we're going to be hard to break down. But we're not hard to break down. And that's why I'm panicking, because if average teams can break us down, or a team out of sorts like an inconsistent team like Liverpool can break us down, even though they got great a front three, what's City going to do to us? Because City are on form. They're not even. It's not a case of them doing enough to win. They're playing out their skins. They are hot, red hot. Haaland is red hot in form. Morris is red hot in form. Rodri is red hot in form. In fact, they haven't got a weakness in their side. We've got a few weaknesses. How do you think that's going to go next week if we carry on like this?
Totally agree, mate. Lee, mate, thanks for joining us. Nightmare traffic out in Spain. Must be because of the weather.
Yeah, apologies for that. Some idiot had a blowout on his tyre. So, he held up the whole motorway from coming back from Benalmádena. So, yeah, it was backed up all the way, man. I was like, it seems like I'm always late or can't do your show. And it's not like that, Jez. It's only this show this happens to.
I know, mate. I know.
No,
that's
thanks
the way
for having
my
me on, man.
season's going. No, it's always a pleasure, mate. You're always welcome. You know that. It's the way my season's going right now. It's all going down, down the pan. Mate, I'll start, Lee, I'll start you with this one, mate. 2-2 Liverpool, 2-2 West Ham. Is it, I mean, Arteta's tactics, I actually said on your stream 6 weeks ago that he's actually developed a plan B. I think he seems to have lost the paperwork because he clearly doesn't. Substitutions at Liverpool were shocking, in my opinion. Substitutions at West Ham were awful. Too late. Did nothing to impact the game, man. I mean, yeah, I get it. I mean, I get what people are saying. I was on 2 shows last night, 2 different shows, and yet people are bigging up Arteta for what he's done, what he's achieved, and we have been as well. Let's get it right. But when you want to get it over the line, Lee, you've got to be a bit more savvy, you know. And it's just not. I think to me, it's gone wrong.
I think the thing is, like, people are always going to have the ump with us, regardless of whether we praise the manager or not. Like, it's like there's certain people within fan bases the majority don't like. Yeah, I'm one of them. Yeah, I'm happy to be the villain. I'm cool with that. Yeah, but at the same time, yeah, we strive to be the best. We want to be the best. We understand that when this lot played at this football club, we were the best, and we all got sold a lie. Yeah, I watched Real Madrid last night. The most comfortable football match you'll ever see in your life. In the second half, anyway. Yeah, first half they kind of gave up a few chances, and if it wasn't Kante on the end of them, they might have had a game on their hands. But that football club since 2010, forget 2004, since 2010, have been in 6 semi-finals and 5 finals and won them. Yeah, like they've won 5 finals that they've been in since 2010 and been in 6 semi-finals, and they've got knocked out in the round of 16 twice. Right, we knocked a stadium down to be like them. So when we're sitting there nitpicking, which we have done, like Kenny, you said it, you go to the games, mate, you see it firsthand right in front of you. You see more than we see on TV. Yeah, you can see if a player's out of position. Right, sometimes we can't see that. You can see if a player's tracking his runner. We might not see that. Yeah, and you've been saying for weeks and weeks and weeks, you've just said it again, we're conceding too many chances to small teams. And eventually that comes back to bite you. How many times last season did we say, look, we're getting away with this here a little bit. We're getting away with it here a little bit. You know, like against Nottingham Forest when we got knocked out of the cup last season. All the way through that game when the watchdog are going, we're getting away with this. It's a matter of time before the goal comes. Bang, 1-0 out the cup. Yeah, and it's like we see these things before they happen. And I think a lot of other people do, but they don't want to say it because they don't want to get the torrent of abuse that comes towards them afterwards. They just want to be seen as, oh, okay, it don't matter, let's move on. But the problem you have is when there's no accountability at your football club, you end up going 19 years without a title. Yeah, Real Madrid have accountability every single week. If they lose a game, they lost to Villarreal the other week. There was fans outside their stadium chanting to get Ancelotti out. Yeah, he's just got him in a semi-final. He's in the Copa del Rey final. He's won 5 trophies last season at Real Madrid, and they want him out. Yeah, and that's one of the greatest managers on the planet ever. Yeah, and this is the thing. And that now tells Ancelotti, yo, you better fix up. That tells the players, yo, you better fix up. When we're sitting there just brushing fuck-ups under the carpet, the players do watch social media. They might stumble across this stream. They might stumble across Diesel's streams, my streams. They might see Kenny's Insta. They do see this stuff. So when most people are sitting there just sweeping like the West Ham, I said defeat. It felt like a defeat. The West Ham draw and the Liverpool draw under the carpet, like it's nothing. Well, they're going to get that subconsciously in their head. And then that game against West Ham, we were coasting, man. We were 2-0 up. We were playing some sexy football. Same at Anfield. We played them off the park for 40 minutes. That was the best we've played all season. Yeah, it was wicked. Yeah. We were just carving them and carving them and carving them. But this is where the manager has to earn his money. Because at half time, I said to Ola on that Liverpool game, I said, get Zinchenko off. Just get him off, get Tierney on now and just shut up shop. Yeah, and then you can counter attack and break away. Tierney can cross a ball. Martinelli get on the halfway line. Yeah, and just spring the offside traps. Didn't do that at all. And all of a sudden we're sinking deeper and deeper and deeper. And he didn't earn his money, Arteta. We bought Jorginho for experience and we didn't play him at Anfield. Yeah. We bought him Kivior. Kivior played 4 minutes of Premier League football against Crystal Palace. That's it. That's all he's ever played. And we're bringing him on at Anfield instead of the guy that we got told was being signed as experience because we couldn't get our main target. And everyone went, oh, that's okay, then we'll get Jorginho. Yeah, we all lapped that one up and we all said, okay, cool. He's been in some massive football matches. He's won major honours. Cool. Yeah, maybe he can be that experienced guy getting us over the line. So why didn't he bring him on at Anfield when we're 2-1 up? Yeah, and we're getting overrun by Thiago and Alcantara in midfield. Yeah, like slow it down, get on the ball, play more like a European game. We should have played that in the second half. Just get on the ball, get Jorginho to slow things down. He's got a good pass on him. Instead, it was a mess. And let's be real, we got out of there with a draw and we didn't deserve a draw. Yeah, West Ham. No. We didn't deserve a draw at West Ham either, let's be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah, if Antonio weren't so poor in front of goal, they would have won the game. Like, let's be real. They would have won the game. He had a couple of really good chances. He hit the bar from 3 yards out. Jared Bowen, seeing the last-ditch tackle on him, he should have scored. You know, where were our chances like that in the second half? There weren't any. And this is why I get the ump and you guys get the ump, because it's like we're so close to nailing it. And if we had now both of them games and got that extra 4 points, we'd all be sitting here and we'd all be going, title's done. Even if City beat us, I can't see us dropping any more points. But instead, we didn't. And now it's kind of, there's a lot of people that I've seen over the last couple of weeks that are sitting on the fence big time. They're ready to say something, but they don't want to go because we might still win it. Yeah, so they're not going to put their flag to the mast. Whereas I don't care. I say what I see based on what I'm watching. Yeah. And that West Ham game was a disgrace. Yeah, the Liverpool second half was pathetic. You know, and people can go on about, oh, it's Anfield. They've only lost once there all season and to Leeds and blah, 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 blah. I couldn't care less. We are 2-0 up away from home. You win that game. Don't care who you are. We could be 2-0 up against Man City. I'd expect to win the game. You don't go 2 clear goals ahead of someone and then not think you can win it when you're Arsenal. We're not Brighton. Yeah, we're not Brentford or West Brom or someone like that. Do you know what I'm saying? We are Arsenal Football Club. We've spent $500 million on this squad. He's had every player he's wanted, apart from Caicedo and Mudryk. But he's had 21 new players come into this squad. Yes, we're still top. And I think this is where people get the ump with us because we are still top. Yeah, and it's like it's almost like we're moaning for no reason. But we're not moaning for no reason. We're moaning because we are slipping away here. Yeah. And now it's just get back on the bike and go again. Like, and mate, if we don't beat Southampton on Friday, it's finished. It's curtains. Yeah, and let's be real here. Yeah, if they score first, yeah, the nerves are going to kick in so bad with that squad. It is mental, right? Because when we took Jesus off at the weekend, weird. You need a goal, so you take the striker off. Very odd, right? But we didn't have Tierney on the pitch who's won stuff because he come off. Thomas Partey is one stuff. He come off. Jesus come off. Zinchenko weren't there. Where you're looking around thinking, where's the inspiration coming from? And there's nothing because no one's won anything. They've won the odd cup here and there. Yeah, apart from Jorginho, but he came on way too late. Yeah, like, and it's crazy to me, mate. But even if we go 2-0 up against Southampton after the last 2 games, yeah, we're going to all be comfortable that we're going to win that game. And that's what's happened now. It's like it's put us in that position where we're going to start self-doubting. So if we're doing that, the players will be doing that. Yeah, because if we go 2-0
I'm actually nervous about. I mean, you know, I'll be honest with you. When we went 2-0 up, Liverpool, 2-0 up against West Ham, I was like, well, I was watching your watch-alongs, watching the game, and I'm like, oh, mate, this is done. You know.
Yep.
Now I'm going into Friday night thinking, shit.
And the thing is, if we go 2-0 up in that game and then they get a goal back, straight away in them players' heads, they're going to think of the last 2 games. Yeah, and then the jitters are coming in. They won't compose themselves. They won't be on the ball. I've seen everyone going on about Saliba. I've done a video that's dropping later on him because like everyone's banging on about he should be playing. He's back in training. He's not back in training. He's just riding the bike. Like he's doing some spinning classes or something. Yeah, if he ain't 100% fit, I don't want to see him again this season. Nope. Yeah, that's it. Nope. Like Rob Holding's not been as bad as everyone's made him out to be. Like, but we do look a lot better with Saliba. But if he's not 100%, what's the point in risking him? Yeah, like he's got a back injury. He might need surgery if it gets any worse. So then he's out for 6, 8, 9 months, isn't he? Why risk that? Like exactly. It makes no sense to me. But mate, we on the flip side of that, if we do beat Southampton, we're 7 points clear of Man City going into the game. And yes, they'll have 2 in hand, and they're playing us, so they will have to beat us, which might play into our hands. You never know. They're going to have a go and have a go and have a go, and you never know. We might do them on the counter. Like, I'm just trying to think of a way we can beat City, and it's not looking good. I can't lie. They're just relentless.
They're on. They've hit a purple patch, but I just want to quickly mention that before I mention what I'm going to mention, Southern Goon and Matt, thank you, mate. Arsenal too nice, and it shows in the modern fan base and in the club. Yes, absolutely. Loser mentality. The manager is too weak to make major adjustments or sit out of form players. I'm just waiting on the dust to clear soon. Yeah, I mean, the thing is, I think we all watched that thing on Amazon that an Arteta stated he'd fixed the mentality. But he made a statement in his post-match thing, weak mentality. Well, Arteta, I thought he'd fixed it. I thought he'd fixed that weak mentality. So you haven't then, have you? And this is the bullshit.
The problem is, Jez, right? When you've got no Jesus or Zinchenko on the pitch and no Saliba on the pitch, that is exactly the same team that bottled top 4 last season. Yeah, so Saliba weren't there at the weekend, Zinchenko weren't there at the weekend, and we hooked Jesus in the second half. It's the same squad that bottled top 4. Yeah, so like on that alone, he's done very well to get us to the top of the table. You have to praise that. But ultimately, if we don't win it, it's a failure. Yeah, it's a failure. I don't care what anyone says. And there's so many fans out there that are trying to make out it's not a bottle job if we don't win it, because they've spent years cussing Tottenham and calling them bottle jobs for bottling a 2-horse race and finishing third. They were never top at all that season. We were top at Christmas. We were top for a lot of that season. Yeah, so if anyone bottled it, we did. But they don't want to be labelled bottle jobs, Arsenal. But let's be real. If we're 8 points clear and we don't win the league, like, and all I keep hearing is, but Man City, they've got the best squad, the best manager, more money, this and that, experience. Yeah, cool. Okay, well, that don't stop us beating West Ham, does it? That don't stop us beating Liverpool when we're 2-0 up, does it? Because even with all of that great stuff that they've got, and they are better, they have got a good squad, they've got the best manager, and they've got more money, and they've got the experience. But if we had won them 2 games, which we should have at that point, 2-0 up, we'd be sitting at 8 points clear of Man City with them having 1 game in hand. Even if they win it, we're 5 clear. So it don't matter. But again, it's another thing that's, but nobody expected it. They're better than us. Well, Real Madrid and Barcelona are better than Atletico. They got more money than Atletico. They've got the experience. They've got the history. Yeah, they've got better manager, or did have better managers at the time. Pep was the manager. How did Simeone win a title? How did he get 2 Champions League finals on the trot? How did he win Copa del Rey? How did he win the league at Barca and the Cup at Real Madrid's ground in the same season? Yeah, all of it is excuses. And I did a video earlier on my other channel about this. Only in England you get this loser mentality rife in football. I watched BT Sport last night. Yeah, that absolute abomination on BT Sport last night from them 3 idiots standing on the touchline. Yeah, when Joe Cole's standing there going, they're looking super sharp in the warm up. And Joe Cole's down there going, yeah, it's a sticky one for Madrid tonight, mate. They don't, if Chelsea get an early goal, shut up, mate. Yeah, and then it's talking about Ashley Cole. He's rallying the defence. We all know they're going to lose. Stop dramatising it. But this is what the English media do. They dramatise crap. Yeah, top 4, crap. Yeah, they dramatise absolutely everything. And why? Because they want more subscriptions. Yeah, that's it. At the end of the day, if Southampton, sorry, I'm waffling now. I'm gonna go to the toilet in a minute. But Southampton finished bottom of the table. They've been the worst team in the league. They get 140 million in parachute payments for getting the worst team in the league. Yeah, Man United won the League Cup. They got 100 grand. How's that even possible? Yeah, if you finish fourth in the table, you get about 80 million. And then you get your Champions League group stage. Every win, every draw, every loss, you get paid. Yeah, so you'll earn over 100 million out of finishing fourth, right? And then if you win the FA Cup, you get 7 million. So there's no incentive for the lesser teams in the league to go and actually achieve a cup. And there's no incentive for the bigger teams in the league to go in because the money is pathetic. So this is why top four has become a thing, because getting in the top four or relegated pays you a hell of a lot more money than it does to win stuff. And that's only in England that happens.
Wrong.
That don't happen anywhere else.
It's absolutely wrong, man. I'm going to go to one quick. Mr. B for life, Steve. Thanks, mate. Big up, legends. Great to see you back, like Diesel. Thanks, mate, for coming on, Diesel. You're always welcome here. You know that.
Yes, mate.
Diesel, I'll ask you this, mate. This. We've just flushed out what's going down, what's going wrong. Man City have pretty much hit their performance time now. So give me your quick appraisal of their performance, because they do have, let's get it right, probably one of, well, if not the best manager in world football.
Yeah.
And he knows how to get a team over the line. I mean, yeah, okay, they've got a great squad. I mean, they've got a more in-depth squad. So give me that. Give me your view on that, my friend, and I'm going to come to Kenny on that one.
Yeah, do you know what? Right, see, this is. I've watched a lot of Man City the last few seasons, because I just love the way they play. And as much as we say they've got better players, which they have, they are easily the best side probably in Europe, in my opinion, let alone this league. But Jez, it's not just that. You know, yes, they've got the players, they've got the names, they've got the manager. Who, for me, Pep is the best in the world. For me, I've stated that many a time on my channel. I love this man. The man's a born winner, right? But for me, it's not just that. It's a case of they've got the best players, but they also work. They work, Jez. Like, if you actually, I've seen them a couple of times live, that what they do off the ball, which obviously a lot of people, if you're just watching it on the telly, I know different with Kenny, because you go to the games, Ken, you see a lot more than what we do. But off the ball, I've not seen many other teams better. You know, Man City for me, and this is what annoys me, this is where I sort of compare Arsenal and Man City. Man City can be 3 or 4-0 up, and they are working harder than what we would be if we were 3 or 4-0 down. That's the difference, and that is all those watch-alongs I did over the years. That was a massive bugbear of mine when it comes to Arsenal. It's a case of Man City are cruising the game, and they are running, busting the gut for every single ball. They score 3, they want 4. They score 4, they want 5. They don't stop. We score 2. Yeah, work's done, lads. Let's just sit back now. Yeah, all done. Lovely.
Nice.
No. That's the difference, and that's the difference. That's what when I said earlier on about winning and losing. You know, you're seeing the team there, like Man City. Yes, they've got the names and they've got the egos and the players, but Jez, they graft. I've never seen a team 4-0 up, and they're grafting. You could excuse them for maybe, you know, dropping down a couple of gears. The game's won, right? No, they want another and another. If they're winning 4-0 and they win the game 4-1 and the opposition scores a goal, I'm seeing Pep going mad, because for Pep, it has to be the perfect scoreline. 4-0 sounds a lot better than 4-1, you know, and I'm seeing him going mad. If Grealish, it doesn't matter who it is, they play bad for 2 or 3 games, they're dropped. It doesn't matter what the name is on the back. Pep's thing is, and it's very much like Sir Alex Ferguson, very much like a George Graham, there is one gaffer here, there's one governor, me. No one else, me. Don't like it, there's the door. You know, it's very much like that. But, yeah, as I say, like, they are the best team, but they just work. They work, and I'm seeing us going in the lead 1-0, 2-0, and then we take our foot off the gas and we think the job's done. Man City, 3-0 up, they want 4, they want 5, they do not stop, because they've got a manager who will not allow them to stop. Kevin De Bruyne got taken out, was dropped. Kevin De Bruyne, Aguero, when Pep gets there, dropped him. You're not working hard enough. To all of us, that's Aguero. I don't care. I'm Pep. You don't do what I tell you to do. You don't play. I don't care what your name is on the back or what reputation you got.
Mate, he kicked out the England number one as soon as he got there. The goalkeeper, he kicked him out of the club as soon as he got there. Number one for England.
Yeah.
See you later. You ain't my goalkeeper.
And Joe Hart was a hero to them, in that time. That's the difference. These guys work because they know the repercussions if they don't. Our lot, they're not winners. They're weak-minded. It's still there. It's been ingrained in the club. It's been ingrained. Arteta's been in that Man City dressing room. He knows what it takes to win. He knows what a winner looks like. He ain't got it here. And I know he's culpable for a lot of it, but let's be honest. When there's no pressure, Arsenal, they just play like it's beautiful. Now he's on top. They went hiding, Jez. Against West Ham, they went hiding. We had a week off, right? We should have been fit as anything. This Saka, every time he has a bad game, he's jaded, he's tired. No, he's an athlete. He's young. He plays once a week. What an excuse is going to be when we're playing twice a week? We've had a result. We're playing once a week. And West Ham, if you didn't know who was who, you'd think West Ham were trying to go for the Premier League, not us. That's the difference. You would never say that about a Man City. That's the difference. Winning, losing. Difference.
Fact. Jack Ramsey, mate. Great to see you, mate. We battered Southampton easy. And so you should. Well, we'll see about that. Kenny, same question to you, mate. Man City have hit a purple patch, and as normal, Pep Guardiola has got them on firing on all 12 cylinders right at the end of the season, and that's what he does. That is why he's world class. And I'm worried now. I'm worried about what's going to happen.
Well, the thing about it is that you should be worried because that's championship football. You know, that's what we want. It's nice that we're in a situation where we do worry about, whether we're going to win a title. So it's a long time happening. When was the last time we worried about it? Probably around 2003, when it was us and Man United neck and neck, and we had a significant lead, and then we got Boltoned. You know what I mean? Got bolted where it was 2-2, and then we lost to it. Then we beat Everton, and then we lost to Leeds United, and that Man United got the league from us. But it was a similar game around. It's probably the same time, end of April, where we played Man United at the Emirates, and we got a 2-2 draw, and it was like a cup final, and They got the point, and then they went on and won it, and then we just went on a downward spiral because it was at the time it was us playing a better football, and I think this season is even more accurate. The fact is, they're not young players. The process is over. When you challenge for the title and you're 8 points ahead, it's not a process. People need to stop talking the rubbish about but we're well ahead of schedule. That's an excuse. Not one of us. No one can celebrate second place when you've been 8 points ahead. You just can't do that. It is a failure because you give it away. Let's not face it. You're 8 points ahead and playing well and winning well. Let's not forget, before the 2 games against Liverpool and West Ham, we won 7 consecutive matches, 7 consecutive games. So we're finding a way to win. So that's still in us. The problem is the bad habits, bad defensive mistakes are in us as well, and that's going to cost us. But in terms of like Man City, mate, he's there to win trophies. Every player is ready for duty at Man City. Doesn't matter if you haven't played for about a couple of weeks or played the last game before. Everyone has to be ready. If you don't play for a Tep's team, you don't leave the team. You leave the club. He don't need you. He doesn't want passengers. You know what I mean? There's no passengers, and I hope that Arteta doesn't have any passengers as well. But the fact is that, the mentality that Arteta says he's changed, it's always going to be there. It's always going to be there with our lot, because when you're a team that, plays good football and you neglect defence, you're always going to be a team that plays brilliant football when there's no pressure. Because when there's pressure, good footballing teams crumble. They always do, because they're not used to always being in pressure situations in terms of having to defend across the team on a regular basis. We only defend like that occasionally because we dominate them. But against decent sides, always found wanting because they've also got players who can play good football. They've also got players who are game changers. They've got players who can, who are all rounders. And let's face it, I was saying it not out of disrespect to the club that I love, but Man City have got better players than us. They've got a better team than us. They've got a better coach than us. So it's only normal they're going to peak at the right time. But the fact is, the better team doesn't always have to win. They were better than Liverpool when Liverpool won the league, but Liverpool that season held their nerve and kept on winning and kept on trusting their manager. We've been found out. Teams have worked us out and saying basically, all right, if Arsenal go 2-0 up, okay, make sure you don't concede. But if they concede concede a goal and then you get it down to 2-1, they're going to crumble. And teams know that now. They know that you can actually walk through our defence because there's always a space down the left-hand side. And Arteta's too stubborn to basically close it up, which is a shame. But, that will cost us. But you've got to remember one thing. It's now or never for our boys. Now or never. Because
it is. And that's the fact. Unfortunately,
the best chance to win the league. The best chance to win the league is at present. Don't get me wrong. We'll get another chance next season. Because I'll tell you one thing. I'm not going to be one of them who's thinking, "Oh yeah, I'm really happy with last season." But if we come fourth, then yeah, no. I like this now. I like challenging. I like winning every week. I want this all the time, and we've got the players to do that. And the mentality now should be championship mentality. So yeah. If it doesn't happen this season, I'm not accepting a drop-off next season. I refuse to accept it. I expect them to be business as usual with 3 more additions.
And not only that, I expect us to compete in the cups as well because we threw them cups in the bin this season, to go and win this title. Right? Next season, we better compete in them cups. Yeah, Mikel Arteta apparently told Laura Woods at a gala dinner or something at the Emirates that she was invited to that we're going to look to compete in the Champions League next season. Well, we're buying 11 new players then. Yeah, because we haven't got the squad to compete on multiple fronts this season, so we need another 11, right? So when they're going to all mark the window 8 out of 10, 9 out of 10 in the summer for signing 2 or 3 players, I'll be marking it 1 because we need a whole new team. Yeah, because this mentality of you can't compete on all fronts. I can name Real Madrid's starting 11 every game. Yeah. Every game. Vinicius Junior is the same age as, or 1 year above Saka. Yeah, Camavinga's about the same age. He's playing left back. He ain't a left back. The left backs are injured. Yeah. By the way, he wasn't inverted last night. He was just up and down. Yeah, I didn't see no hybrid midfielders last night either. I see proper midfielders that did their jobs properly. Yeah. Football's a simple game. You don't need to overcomplicate it. Listen, it's great that we're top and it's great that some of this inverted and all of this jazz has been working. But ultimately, there comes a point where you have to mix it up. And that is where the cream rises to the top. Yeah. And you wouldn't, like I said this the other day, you wouldn't ask the air stewardess to fly the plane, would you? So why are you asking Tierney to play inverted? Like, that makes no sense. The guy's passing is not good enough to play inverted and go into midfield. We know that. Yeah, I love the boy, but he ain't a passer of the ball. Yeah, he's a drop the shoulder, 10 yards, cross. Yeah, and he'll work his nuts off defensively. Apart from that cock up the other day, he's normally pretty good defensively. Yeah, but like this overcomplicating of stuff and overthinking it. And this is why this gets labelled at Pep a lot as well when it comes to Champions League. He always overthinks it in the Champions League, yeah? Like, well, maybe Arteta's doing it in the league this season. Maybe he's overthinking it a little bit. Bring on Kivior at Anfield instead of Jorginho. And then, like, bringing on this, taking off that. It's like, why don't you just stick to what got us to the top and what made us great this season instead of pissing around towards the end now? But that shows pressure and lack of experience.
Factly. Before we, there's 160 watching. We've only got 83 likes, guys. Smash them up, you know. And by the way, Lee, well, congratulations on making 78,000 the subscribers. That's
thank you, man. Big up to everyone subscribed.
Adam Palmer asked, Jez, would you go on the football terrace? I would, mate, but he won't. He's got bigger YouTube.
Bigger fish to fry.
Yeah, I was going to say that.
He'll have you on. I'm sure he'll have you on. He gets anyone on, mate.
I'm a small content creator. But yeah, I'll go on there, have a chat. I don't mind. I'll have a chat with bloody anyone. You know, I don't care what people think of me, but there we go. It is what it is. I mean, I've got great people here. Some of the people here that actually know what Arsenal's all about. So there you go. I'm just gonna let's get into the game. Friday night, Southampton coming to the Emirates. Kenny will be there, mate, Kenny, you confident about that one?
I'm 100% confident because simple reason is that there's a gulf in class between ourselves and Southampton, and we're going for that league. It's got to have the tunnel vision. You know, the fact is that we're the team that's leading, despite our worries, about our criticisms about dropping points above the ground. We're still the team to beat, and I'm 100% confident. Southampton are they're poor. Yes, they're going to raise their game, but again, it's about it's what you could do to them psychologically. You score quickly against them, and make your chances count. Then you know we'll win comfortably. But one thing is that's going to happen. One thing is we know is going to happen. We're going to make heavy weather of it. I promise you we will, because that's what we do at the moment. Because Southampton are fighting for their lives. They're going to try anything. They're going to be torn between two game plans, either to just give it everything they got, rely on set pieces, or just put men behind the ball, which is going to be dangerous. So, they're the ones with more questions than us. But again, the Emirates has been a bit of a fortress. Let's face it. We've only lost once against Man City. If you're winning titles, your home form has to be like exemplary, and it has been exemplary. So I expect nothing more than a win. And judging by the way we've played in the last few games, I just want to win 3 points. Put more pressure on Man City. We'll analyse the performance afterwards. It's not about performance now; it's getting the win there.
Absolutely facts. And I'm guessing that stadium will be absolutely busting at the seams on Friday night because of the situation we're in, and it'll be a massive, massive atmosphere, and which is what we want, because the fans will get behind the team, and that's what we're going to need, mate. Diesel, you confident?
Yeah, I'm confident because for the simple reason Southampton are crap. Look, I'll be honest with you. If I'm not. I don't want to be arrogant when I say this, and this might slap me in the face, but I'm looking past Southampton. For me, they're along.
The league, mate.
Yeah, they're bottom of the league. They're rubbish, mate. Like, I think the thing with Arsenal, I can't even see Southampton scoring, Jez. I think we're going to beat them comfortably. I personally think it'll be 3 or 4-0. I think a lot of that is because we're at home. We'll have the crowd behind us. I think the players dare not do what they've done in the last 2 weeks. I think, Arteta should be. It's Southampton. I mean, with all due respect, taking the arrogance out of it, this is a team who we all know are going to get relegated. Like, they're done. So for me, it's not. When you got fans saying, Southampton, tough, what do you mean, We're top of the league going for a title. This lot are relegated. This should be a foregone conclusion. And in years gone by, it would have been. For me, it's purely because not so much us, because in the last 2 weeks, it's more a case of Southampton are absolute trash. They're rubbish. They're going down. They've got nothing. And I think we'll be too strong for them. I'm more looking at the games after that. So, yeah, in answer to your question, mate, I think we're doing 3 or 4-0.
Diesel, do you want to give a quick shout out to Ian? He wants to find your channel.
Oh, thanks, Ian. Diesel Arsenal, mate. Just type that in and, you'll find me. Much appreciated.
Cool. Lee, confident about Friday, mate? You'll be doing your watch along, as usual. I'll be watching you while I watch the game. You confident?
I am confident, but I was confident with slap West Ham 4-0, and that came back to bite me. I was confident we'd beat Liverpool as well, and that came back to bite me. So I don't know. Kenny's right though. Our home form's been brilliant. It has. It's been really, really good. I do think we'll beat them. And listen, the crowd need to play their part as well. Like, the away fans are relentless. Yeah, Kenny, you know this, man. You go to aways, especially London aways. We're relentless, our fans away from home. The home fans sometimes it's a little bit flat, but this season I've noticed more and more people are staying till the end this season at home. Yeah, like then it's not a fire drill at 85 minutes or 80 minutes this season. So, like, do you know what I mean? It's like everyone, but saying that it is a Friday night, so we might see a fire drill on the 80th minute, especially if we're coasting it. But yeah, I am confident. Like, listen, if we don't beat Southampton, we don't deserve to win the title, mate. It's as simple as that. Yeah, it's as simple as that. But having said that, we did draw with them away from home this season. And if that game went for another 5 minutes or so, they probably would have won it. They were all over us in that last 5-10 minutes, and we were hanging on. But we've evolved since then. That was earlier in the season. We've evolved since then. We've been playing great football. Yeah. But I just fear, don't give them any free kicks. Don't give them any decent opportunities in and around the box. Theo Walcott's going to be licking his chops. Yeah, he's going to want to impress. Yeah, Ward-Prowse is relentless with his free kicks, corners and stuff like that. We just got to make sure we're switched on defensively. I want a clean sheet as well. None of this giving up opportunities and goals. Yeah, we're 7 goals behind Man City. We've wasted an opportunity at the weekend, and we wasted one at Anfield. So, yeah, man, I'm kind of confident. But if we don't win that game, it's over. And that's the mentality that managers got to have, and then players have got to have. We've got to go out there and don't care. Just get the win, keep a clean sheet, move to Man City. Yeah, and it'll be interesting to see them tonight. Hopefully, Bayern Munich make a go of it tonight and panic them a little bit. And score a couple of early goals and maybe even get it to extra time if they can. Yeah, because then that'll wear them out mentally, physically. Then they've got Sheffield United game at the weekend. Yeah, and then they've got us in midweek. So yeah, hopefully we go into that game 7 points clear. And not only that, if we do go 7 points clear and we can get something at their ground, even if it's a draw, let's say, we'll still be 7 points clear, and they'll have 2 games in hand. So, then we play Chelsea before they play West Ham. We play the day before them. So we could potentially go 10 points clear, but they'll have 3 in hand. Well, the pressure's all on them then. So we have to make sure the next 3 games, we have to at least beat Southampton and Chelsea. Yeah, and get a draw at least, bare minimum, at Man City. Yeah, and listen, if you want to win the title, why are we scared of Man City? We're top of the league. We shouldn't be scared of them. Yeah, when we were winning titles and we were going up against Fergie's Man United teams, they were better than us at times. Yeah, they were better than us. They had better squads than us. They had 4 fucking strikers at one point. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, they had top players. They had a great manager. Yeah, and we were going up to Old Trafford and saying, right, we win here, lads. We're winning the league. Yeah. Do you know what I'm saying? So listen, it's the same principle. We've got to have that mentality back. We go to the Etihad. We show what we're worth. We show why we're top of the table, and we say, right, we want to win the league. You've got to win here. Yeah. If George Graham was in charge, we'd get a win.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Well, what's the old saying? 1-0 to the Arsenal. You know what I mean?
I'll take a stinky, dirty, horrible, double deflected own goal. Yeah, at the Etihad, mate, and just get out of there as quick as you can.
Yeah, I mean, I watched many of them games when we played shitty, dirty, horrible, boring football. But we won the league. You can't always win football pretty. Before we wrap it up, I just want to ask this question. Saka on the weekend, that's the worst I've seen him ever play. Personally, I thought he was absolutely bloody shocking. Diesel, do you think it's time for him to be rested and play Trossard and mix it up a little bit? I mean, no disrespect to Southampton, but sorry guys, you're looking out of this Premier League right now. Maybe it's a chance to mix it up a little bit, Diesel, and Trossard to start and give him a.
No. So I think he had a bad game, Jez. In fact, there's a lot of people saying there's something more to it. I don't know if that's true. I don't know if something's gone on behind the scenes. He just didn't look himself. There's a lot of people making up stories about stuff like that. Personally, I think we're at a stage of the season now where just go with what's been working. Do you know what I mean? I know he had a bad game, but he's been one of our standout players this season, so he's got to play. Like I know, I just said obviously it's Southampton and we should be slapping these, but at the same time, I wouldn't risk go with your strongest lineup. I'm old school. I'm a massive believer in get early goals, get 3-0 up, get the game won, and then do your subs after. Just get the win. And I think this game is really important, not because it's Southampton. It's really important because of what's happened in the last 2 weeks. So the whole country, all of the Arsenal fans, we're all expecting a response from this team. Yeah, and we know in seasons gone by when it's this sort of situation, these players sink or swim. So a lot of these players, they either thrive under it or they hide in their shell, which they have done in seasons gone by. So for that reason, this is a massive game and it has to be won. Play your best players. Make your subs after. My thing is, you're at home, it's Southampton, they're crap. With all due respect, get those goals in early. Get the early goal because that would just settle the players. It's that first goal. Make sure they don't score first. And just get a few goals, and then we can obviously make our subs and do what's what. But we need to get the game won. If he tinkers too much, that might play in their favour rather than ours. So for me, play Saka. Play Saka.
Fair play, mate. Fair play.
Yeah.
There's 165 watching, 96 subs. I have never ever got to 110 likes on a video live. Never. Been close. I've had over 100, but I've never got 110. So can we get it to 110 before we bugger off? Kenny, same question to you, mate. Saka, do you think it's time for him? Just give him, Manchester City games coming up. He was shocking at the weekend. You were there, you saw it. Maybe it's time just to let him have a little day out and because clearly to me, Diesel said something wasn't right that day. Something was not right with him. He just didn't look confident for that penalty. He was bloody awful on the pitch. Why he was kept on by Arteta, I've no idea. Do you think that it's worth a do?
The trouble is that, if we don't play and it goes all pear-shaped, and we don't stretch teams as teams are comfortable, it's always going to be a case. Why didn't you play him? He's your number one attacker. He's your number one threat. Because let's face it, I was saying the same thing with Martinelli. Jesus, after he scored the first goal, he was part of the problem at West Ham away, where his performance dropped. He was playing way too deep. He wasn't an outlet when we were on a counter attack. And he wasn't in it. He spent more time defending. He was ineffective. But because it went out 2-2, and everyone thought we needed an equaliser, everyone was saying, but you took Jesus off. He was poor. And they said the same thing about taking off Odegaard and other players who weren't poor. So it's a no-win situation. The thing is that you've got to ask yourself a question. All of you individually or your minds when you watch the games. Who's the more likely to stretch defences out of all the attacking players we have? 9 out of 10 people say it's Saka. So to leave him out, you might want to rest him against Southampton. That's fine, and bring him on. But against Man City, you've got to play him, man. Play him and Martinelli and tandem, just in case. We do hit him on the break, because that's how we're going to do it. It's their pace. We've got to stretch those wing backs. Or one of those centre halves, because he's playing 4 centre halves at the moment. They've got to be stretched. You know what I mean? Get them defending, because at the moment they're looking really solid, and they are able to deal with the pace of Bayern Munich. But maybe we can give them something a bit different. You know what I mean? Bayern Munich got them to good situations last week, but couldn't put the ball in there. I still think that there's ways where we could, use Saka. But it's a hard one, really, because I can see it going pear-shaped if we leave him out. I really can. Yeah. Because, there's no one who can replicate that pace on the right-hand side. As much as we love Trossard, he just hasn't got that pace to get away from defenders. He's got the skill, he's got the brain, but he's more of a late, a Peter Beardsley type in terms of, passing for people to make a run onto the passes rather than what Saka can do, where Saka just stretches defences. It's an odd one, but, Dave, you're off form, you don't play. So, it's 50-50 for me.
It's funny, right? We say that, but now that with the introduction of 5 subs, the subs are just as important now as the first 11. Do you know what I mean? Exactly. So it's a case of they can both play a role.
They're not subs anymore, according to Charles Watts. Apparently at Arsenal, they're called impactors. They're called impactors now.
Impactors. Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's why he put an article out the other day saying that from now on, Arsenal are calling the subs impactors. Okay.
Really?
Well, I'm calling them subs, mate. It's like player of the match. No, mate, it's man of the match.
Yeah. Lee, I'll ask you, mate, because you always talk the sense, facts, like Diesel, like Kenny. Maybe I don't always, but there we go. Saka, to me, looked terrible at the weekend. I think personally, it's an opportunity that we mix this up a little bit and we just absolutely go and batter the crap out of Southampton. We need to score serious goals because if this comes down to goal difference, we're stuffed, man. So would you mix it up?
Yeah, man, I'll drop him. I'd go with Martinelli on the right. I'd go with Trossard on the left. And then I'd go with Jesus up front. And when we see Jesus and Trossard actually start together, they were kind of switching, weren't they? Like 1 minute Jesus was in the penalty box, Trossard left, and then vice versa. So, and listen, Martinelli's played right quite a bit. Yeah, in the second half against Sporting Lisbon, he played right. Yeah, and I thought he was pretty good. So, yeah, I think I would switch it up. And let's be honest, he was on the bench, Saka, against Crystal Palace, I think. Yeah, and he came on and didn't really do anything in that game. Yeah, and then at Anfield, he didn't do anything. The last game, he ain't done anything. You know, just because he's Bukayo Saka and he's the star boy, don't mean he gets a pass. Like, exactly. if you're not doing it, you're benched. That's how I am with it. But listen, I understand why people would play him. He is our best player. But he's only our best player when he's on it. And he ain't been on it for the last couple of weeks. I don't know whether it is a mentality, like his brain's tired. I don't know whether he's physically tired. He shouldn't be. He's a young lad. Yeah, but I don't know, man. I don't know whether that penalty miss has affected him or not. I don't know. But for me, he's just not looked on it the last couple of weeks. Since even the I know he wasn't on the bench for Palace, was he? He started against Palace. What game was he on the bench? It was the week before. Maybe Fulham. There was a game he was on the bench. Because I remember the first 25 minutes of that Palace game, he kept giving the ball away. And I was ripping my hair out. Yeah, and then after that, we just blitzed him. Yeah, it weren't Palace. It was another game. But yeah, the last two, he's not been very good, mate. And listen, Trossard, for me, I think's one of the most technically gifted players we have. Martinelli has got like raw pace. Yeah, and just dribbling ability, and I know he needs to get his head up a little bit more. But if he's going to be coming up against their left back, we should be absolutely skinning their left back, whether the Reece Nelson starts or whether Martinelli's there or Saka's there. But for me, I'd rest Saka. I'll drop him. Yeah, take him out the limelight for a little bit, drop him. Yeah, we've done it to other players, so why can't we do it to him?
Exactly.
There's been other games where we've dropped some of our better players. We had Jesus on the bench the other week. And I know he's just coming back from injury, but that's another thing as well. We subbed him off at the weekend because he's only just come back from injury. What's that got to do with anything? Yeah, if he's fit enough to play 75 minutes, he's fit enough to play another 15, isn't he? All these excuses, man. But yeah, for me, front three would be Jesus, Trossard left, Martinelli right. We could even put Reece Nelson on in the second half if we want to take Trossard off or Jesus off, and that's the beauty of having them players. Yeah, them three I've just named, all three of them can play up front. Yeah, they can all go down the centre, all three of them, and they can all go left and they can all go right. Jesus has played right for Man City. Trossard's played right, left, and centre. So, yeah, we've got options there, but it's what he does. We all know Saka's going to start the game. Let's not kid ourselves. He's starting. Yeah, and let's hope he's on it. Let's hope he gets a goal if he does start and it gets his confidence back up, and then boom, because he does tend to do well in the big games. So if we can get him back on form like he has been, then going up to Man City, I'll be confident that he gets a good performance there. But we've got to deal with Southampton first, mate. I don't care how we win it, just win it.
Now that's the thing. Diesel, give me your prediction for Friday night. I'll give you mine first. I am
go on.
I'm going ultra positive. I'm going 5-0 Arsenal.
Oh.
Yes, Jess.
Why?
I'm glad you've predicted that, because every time I predict 5-0, we lose.
No, I'll tell you why I'm going to say that. I'll tell you why I'm going to say that. The fact is that the Arsenal fan base, I think, will be big up for this game, and Kenny Ken will be there, and Kenny Ken is going to be in that changing room, at half time. And if they are not fighting, if they're not winning, he's going to smack the crap out of them. I'm joking, obviously. But,
no. I think what's happened is that you like to think like the last game before we play Man City, you want to sort of put on a show, but you know what, whatever happens, right? It's just the points, your points. You want to go in the Man City game at least leading, And all right, you even if we lose against Southampton, we're still going to be like 4 points ahead. But but Man City are going to have a couple of games in hand. So psychologically, if Man City pop us, then we're still going to be top by about 1 point. But their game in hand are against West Ham, who I expect them to beat comfortably, and Brighton, who I expect them to beat because they've got a better team and they're mentally going to be prepared for what Brighton can give them. It wouldn't bother them if Brighton score 2 because they know they can score 4, and they've done it before, haven't they? When they played Brighton at the Amex, I think it's the Amex they're playing, or was it at Main Road? Sorry,
it's the Amex. Yeah, they slapped them 4 last season. Yeah,
because let's face it, Brighton play football against us. We beat them 4, didn't we? 4-2.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was there.
Can I just read this comment out very quickly? Sorry to be a pain in the arse. Yeah, I've just read the comments. I put out a video on the other channel, the second channel, right, talking about why there's a loser mentality in English football, right? And some geezers put, Lee, my dog could win trophies at Real Madrid, so it's not an achievement to win trophies as the manager there. Yeah, it's more of an achievement if Ancelotti had won something at Napoli and Everton. Yeah. Which he didn't manage to do. Like I said, my dog could win a trophy at Real Madrid, even with no manager. This is what we're dealing with, by the way. He's trying to say Ancelotti is not a very good manager because he's won trophies at Madrid. Like, this is the levels we deal with within modern football, unfortunately. But yeah, go on. Sorry, mate. And he's actually copied and pasted it 5 times, by the way. He's put it in 5 times.
He's been blocked. That's why I didn't see it. I'm watching.
No, that's on my video.
Oh, yours. Oh, beg your pardon.
Yeah, on the video I dropped earlier on the second channel. Yeah, it's basically saying Ancelotti's not a very good manager because anyone can win trophies at Real Madrid. Well, how comes Lopetegui got sacked after 14 games then? Makes no sense, mate. It makes no sense. Sorry.
I think Kenny was there when amount of times I used to have a row with Terry about Ancelotti. He's always judge him on Everton. I'm like, well, no, look at the body of work, not just one club. But yeah, sorry, Jez. In answer to your question, I've just had a text, so I've got to read this out from my dad saying, "Blimey, Kenny's got a lovely place, isn't he?" He don't realise the green screen. Sorry, apologies.
Kenny, go and give us a little rendition on the piano of North London Forever.
I hate that song. I absolutely hate that song because you know what's happening, that the only people who would sing that song with any pride are people not from North London because they don't actually know what the song's about and what it entails and how it neglects to mention other parts of North London. It's just about his local area. If sometimes we're so desperate to be Liverpool to have our own kind of anthem. They're better songs than that rubbish.
Well, our fans play victims all the time, so yeah, you're probably right there, Kenny. To be fair,
but
we're always victims of referees
the
and everyone else.
Fan base on Twitter are the ones who got this played, and they think they speak for all Arsenal fans. Now, sorry, I don't feel anything for that song. I had nothing. The song, I nothing it. It means nothing to me.
Nothing at all. Diesel, give me your prediction, mate, before we wrap this up.
Yes, I'm going to go not as keen as you, Jess, but I'm going to go Arsenal 3, Southampton 0. I think we're going to get an early goal. I think they're just going to sit back and allow us to play and try and catch us on the counter. And I think we're going to get that early goal. I think it's going to be very tense for about 15 minutes. And I think as soon as we get that first goal, the crowd will be up anyway. They'll be even more up for it once we get that first goal. And I think the confidence will slowly come back to the players. So, yeah, I'm going to go for a 3-0 comfortable home win.
Cheers, mate, for that one. Matt, Southern Gooner, mate. Thanks, mate, for, again, put me a super chat. Go and subscribe to Matt, the Southern Gooner. Great fella. Goes on Lee's channel in the super chat. In the fan cams. I've been on Matt's channel a few times. Lee's been on there. He's top fella. Go and give him some support. And 178 watching. Can we get it 5s, 120 likes.
Come on,
That'd
smash
be-
the like button, people. That comment in your chat as well. Where's that comment gone? He said about Big Veng said AC Milan only won Serie A in the noughties with Kaká, Pirlo, Seedorf, Maldini, Nesta, and Shevchenko. That's insane. Do you know what? It's mad, yeah. But the teams back then were a joke. But do you know what's crazy? Yeah, that's the first semi-final AC Milan have got to since Ancelotti was their manager in the Champions League in 2007, and they actually won it that year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the thing is, a lot of people slag off Ancelotti. If you look at Everton, you look at his results at Everton when he got the ninth. Well, we now know if we look at where Everton were when Big Frank took over after Rafa, and we know what's happened and how they're going now. He overachieved. That was a miracle. Now we know he proved what a great manager he was because he got them to ninth with just virtually the same kind of players. You look. All right, they had a few, they had James Rodriguez and all that, but he got Everton ninth. Now, if you think about it now, if anything, that's probably his best achievement in terms of with a smaller club.
And he could attract decent players like James, like Allen. Yeah. He had James and Allen, and who was the lad in midfield? The other lad, what's his name? Portuguese guy. Can't remember.
Gomez.
Yes, Gomez. Yeah, Andre Gomez. That three in midfield was better than ours at the time.
Yeah, it was.
That's the level. When you get a level manager like that, you can attract a better player straight away because of the name of the manager.
And that's the thing. You know, it's what you do, what you have in front of you. Now, any other manager, Big Frank inherited that Everton team. They were hanging to the thread. They were hanging to their status by a thread. It's a fact.
And they've never recovered.
And it's got worse. So, don't these people who want to big up Arteta and respect to them, because the only reason why they slag off our Ancelotti and any great managers because they want to protect their opinion on Arteta. Arteta's the greatest thing since sliced bread. So if another manager fails at another club, you lot are in the mud. They're just because they want to be right. That's all it is.
Yeah, and especially if it was a manager who was linked with our club. It's funny you say that, Kenny. The thing that sticks out to me, Mourinho, when he got second, then he said, that's my greatest achievement. And at the time, we was all like, what is that an achievement? And what he was trying to say was, I got second place with that crap. That's an achievement. And it's only now it's started to ring true.
But you don't want to hear that. Yeah. You don't want to hear that because, a lot of the majority of the fan base, people like Terry, people like, some of the journalistic fans who want to be loved by everyone, including their enemies, they are ready to call out legendary managers because they're right about Arteta. Arteta's automatically a better coach than them because they failed. They got sacked from a club, which happens to everyone. And and they make me laugh because you ask yourself, do these guys know anything about football, or they just want to be right? I know they
Most
are.
Managers get
One
sacked.
of them was at
Most
West Ham.
managers in football get sacked.
Yeah, that's it. One of them was at West Ham, and let's just say we were lucky to see the sun when that person was about. Because I'll tell you one thing, it was about to see the sun when that person was sitting a few rows in front of me. A major battle to see the sun.
Do you know what? So,
give me your prediction.
3-1. 3-1.
3-1.
Arsenal.
3-1. 3-1. Okay, fair play. I'm still going 5. People, I've seen some 6-1s. Lee, I'll be watching your watch along on that avidly. Give me your prediction, mate.
3-0.
3-0.
Come on, Lee. Come on.
I'm positive. Look at that. Who knew?
Yeah, well, we're never positive on it.
But apparently my channel was going to crash and burn when Arsenal started doing well, yeah. But obviously I was talking to you two yesterday in the chat. Yeah, I checked it. 7.5 million views since the start of the season, which is 937,000 a month average with a World Cup for 6 weeks in the middle where nobody was getting any views.
How many subscribers were you on last season?
Since the start of the season, I've gone up 6K, which is nearly 1,000 a month.
Wow. Well, you're in the mud,
aren't you?
I'm in the mud.
You're in the mud.
I'm in the mud. I mean, that's not great, to be fair, but still 6,000. It's still a lot of subscribers, isn't it?
That's the result.
7.5 million views is nearly 1 million a month since the season started. And that World Cup for 6 weeks killed everyone's views off, literally. So yeah, not bad.
But you know what? It's not so much the subs. See, when you say that, Lee, right? The first thing I think of, it's not so much the subs. It could be 6,000, 10,000, 20. For me, it's more the message of that myth. You know, I'm obviously because Arsenal were losing. Well, actually, Arsenal have been winning all season, and I'm still growing. So that's destroyed that myth completely. So let's just get. Do you get what I mean? It's more so that message.
I've got another channel for a reason. Yeah, football's got a ceiling, mate. Yeah, football's got a ceiling. Look at the two biggest fan channels on YouTube. Yeah, they've only got 1.6 and 1.5 mil. There's over 2.5 billion people to watch YouTube every month.
Yeah.
Yeah, and let's take nothing away from them. That's a lot of subscribers, and they're only very good at it.
Have you noticed? If you noticed,
in comparison to how many people watch it, it's not a lot, really, is it?
Yeah. Let's get the myth out. There's another fact about views. If a team loses and you get loads of views, the reason why you get loads of views is because opposition fans want to see you upset and they want to take the mickey out of you to their workmates who happen to be Arsenal fans. But when Arsenal win and win big, more Arsenal fans want to see different views from different YouTubers. They want to see how they react to a goal, how they're celebrating. You look at it, when Spurs got to the Champions League final against Ajax, all the Spurs channels, their views went up by 200%. Because Spurs are winning, because other Spurs fans wanted to replicate that great achievement for them, and they wanted to see how it is viewed from other, Spurs perspectives. But in the same with you, if we win the league, your views are going to go up, Jez's views are going to go up, Diesel, your views are going to go up, because other Arsenal fans want to watch it every time. They don't want to just watch it on Sky Sports. They want to watch it on BBC. It's Channel 5. They want to see how every YouTuber reacts. They want to hear how you feel about it. So your views will go up because that's what it is. Arsenal fans who will be associated with winning videos. They want to watch everything. That's
Kenny,
that's
spot on as well, because we beat Sevilla 6-0 in pre-season. Yeah, and that's on about 70,000 views, that video. Why? We won 6-0.
Exactly,
Why does anyone want to watch me? I only get views when we lose.
Yeah,
because
exactly.
Arsenal fans,
right?
Yeah, mate, my most viewed videos, most of them, I think the top 15, I think 11 of them are wins.
Exactly, and that's how it's going to be. It's a myth because, don't get me wrong, if Arsenal lose, then dregs from other clubs will want to watch it to take the mickey. But when we win, Arsenal fans want to watch everything Arsenal related. Every Arsenal related. They want to go on Sky Sports to watch it. Watch the highlights again an hour after an hour. They want to go on ITN to see if it's on ITN. They want to see if it's on BBC News. They want that feeling. They want reminders of it. They want to talk about it for the rest of their lives. So you are going to get more views. It's crap that you only get views when the team doesn't do well. Yeah, you only get views
mechanism. It's Kenny. Arsenal fans always need a villain. 1 week it's Piers Morgan. 1 week it's me. Yeah, then it's referees. Then it's VAR. Then it's Piers Morgan again. Yeah, then it's TalkSport. Then it's Gary Neville. Then it's Lee Gunner again. They always need somebody to blame, like when it goes wrong, because they don't want to blame.
People don't know themselves properly. I say it on the fans page. People do not know themselves at all. They think they know themselves, but actions speak a lot louder than words. And I tell you now, if you're invested in that success, you want to repeat it again and again and again, and you want to hear how other people who've got the same support as you view it. So you're going to get more views. Fact. But they don't. People don't know themselves. People don't understand themselves.
It's a lot of that. I think a lot of it's jealousy as well. There's a lot of people watching us right now. Not the lovely people in the chat, but a lot of the idiots who obviously leave comments and that. And trust me, they would love to do what we're doing right now, but they ain't got the ball. So because they don't, it's they're watching us do something that they could only dream of doing, but for whatever reason they can't. And that's where a lot of them, where you get these negative. I mean, I get him, Jez gets him, you get him, Lee. We all get them. But it's funny. The same people, if they see us on the street, they'd probably be up our arse. It just makes me laugh. And I'm not being arrogant when I say that, but it is the case of that.
These are I see it all summer, mate. I live in a tourist area, mate. I live in a tourist area all summer. People are, you're Lee Gunner. Oh, you do YouTube, didn't you? All summer, mate. It's a tourist area. Yeah, Marbella, Fengarola, tourist areas. Like
the Emirates is a tourist attraction. It is.
It's not as big as White Hart Lane, though, mate. They got go-karting and boxing and NFL. They got WizKid, Beyonce.
Well, I'm going to wrap it up, guys. Good
show, man.
I'm going on in only half an hour. I haven't eaten yet.
Right.
Diesel, mate. Diesel, shout your channel out, mate. What's coming up? What are you doing?
Yeah, cheers, Jess, for having me on again. Well, once again, much appreciated. Listen, Diesel, like I said to you earlier on, I've got to start streaming more. I'm trying to find the time to do it. But I think the only sort of, whenever I do stream, I tend to go for 2.5 hours just to appease a lot of people. So I do put a shift in, but I've got to do more. Anyone who's not subscribed, please come over to Diesel Arsenal. I really appreciate it. I'm doing Warren's doing one. I know it's not everyone's cup of tea, but it's something I like doing. I'm interested in.
I love it. Great.
Yeah, it's not. I made a point of that when we first started it. It's something different. Not a lot of people do it, and why not? And he loves doing it. He researches the hell out of it, and a lot of the topics are interesting. Next one he's doing is all about Harvey. What's his name? Not Harvey Weinstein. What's the other one? Prince. Jeffrey Epstein. That's the one. Yeah. So he's going to do a stream about that. That'll probably be next week or the week after. I'm going to do, after the game, the Arsenal game, probably Saturday now afternoon. I'll do a stream about that. I'll do a couple like next week and try and have some guests on. You're more than welcome, whoever wants to come on. So
I'll be there, mate. I'll be there. You know that.
Yeah, top man, Jez. Love it.
Kenny Ken, shout yourself out on Insta, mate. That's where we'll find you, the legend.
I don't have your patience for YouTube, and I think, as I said, I know anyone can do it, but like I said, not everyone can stick at it. No anyone deals with people who just mean. Say horrible things to people, or sometimes people just don't watch you. You can't. Some people can attract the views, some can't. And I don't have patience for that, so I'm just going to go and watch the Man City game when we're finished. I'm going to probably put some little bits on my Instagram stories, and that's it. I'm done. Have something to eat and probably go for a late night run after the match. You know what I mean? So that's going to be me.
Nice one, mate. Thanks for coming on once again. Diesel,
I enjoyed myself.
And 127 likes tonight. That's, I think, the highest I've ever had. Lee, mate, thank you always for coming on. I know we've had a couple of glitches. No, we've had a couple of glitches last week. We had an emergency to deal with, which is unfortunate. I'm glad you got it sorted, brother. Mate, your channel is absolutely flying. 78,000 subs. I mean, good God. And your other channel's growing and growing, mate. Shout yourself out because top fella, man. Top fella.
No, thanks for having me on, man. Go and sub to Lee Reacts. I've rattled Brighton fans.
Oh, really?
You rattle people, never. You never rattle.
Don't worry about the main channel, that'll deal with itself. But I'm over 9.5K on the second one. I want it up to 10. Lee Reacts. But yeah, I did a video, I dropped that out about an hour and a half, 2 hours ago, about the mentality of the loser mentality that's rife in English football. And I mentioned Brighton. Yeah, and I've absolutely rattled Brighton fans. Yeah, how do you expect Brighton to win the Premier League? I said, mate, because I said in the video, they've not won a major honour in 121 years. Yeah, and if you dig that,
you stand up in the League Cup,
the League Cup, the FA Cup, and the League. Yeah, like the top league, not the Championship, the top league. That's over 200 different attempts they've had to win a major honour, and they've won none. And everyone's praising that club for what? Well, because they play pretty football. Yeah, they go and buy a player for 2 million and flog him for 70. Then they don't reinvest that 68 million profit. Yeah, and eventually that's going to run out, and you're going to end up like Southampton because they did that, and eventually you stop finding the gems. Yeah, so let's stop praise. I'd rather praise teams like Man City, that actually have an owner that wants to invest his money to make them compete, rather than an owner like Levy and an owner like the Brighton one. They're just sitting there creaming profit.
Tony Bloom, isn't it? Tony Bloom's that his name?
Yeah. He made all of his 1.3 billion out of gambling. Yeah, the guy made his billions out of gambling, mate. It's mad. But yeah, go and check that channel out. Lee Reacts.
Can you who's going to want to buy Brighton though? No. Can you imagine a rich guy from the Middle East wanted to buy
Oh,
Brighton.
listen, mate. Todd Bowley might as well have just bought Brighton because he's tried stripping them all.
True.
He's turned Chelsea into Brighton.
I'm loving his work at the moment. I can't lie.
We've got to wrap this up,
Nice one,
guys.
Jez. All right, Jez has got to go to. He's got a podcast. He's got dinner and a podcast soon.
I've got dinner, and then I've got 8 o'clock. I've got to be on with TJ Warren, top fella. Go and sub to TJ Warren. I've got 133 likes on this now, so thank you very much. While I'm here, can I just say I need 448 subs to make 4K tonight. Can we do that? No.
Come on, sub everyone. Everyone sub.
I'm on the road to 4K, and I'm really aiming to get there by August. That'd be nice. I know it'd be dangerous, it'd be difficult, but it's an achievement. But Diesel, Kenny, Lee Gunner, mate, thank you all guys for coming on. It's been a great stream. I loved watching. This has been great fun tonight. We all talk the facts here. There's no bullshit. There's no with bouncy fans, flip flops. We want success, and that's what we preach, and that's what we want. And come on, you Gunners, and we'll see you all soon. And let's win 5-0 on Friday night, guys. Take care. See you later.